Hey, it's Adam.
Hi, it's Teaerra.
And the way we first met, or when we first met, was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally me sitting just behind you, and all I did was say hi. That's AJ. All I said was hi and went to sleep. Asked what her name was, and that was it.
Yeah, it was like you said, freshman year in high school. I was a very quiet person, kept to myself, so I thought that he was playing around, just wanted to bother someone that day, I guess. And when he asked me my name, I answered really quick and then turned right back around. And I was like kind of glad he went back to sleep. And after that, we didn't really come in contact with each other again until junior year. Again, he asked me to come to his table this time, so I would just chill at the table by myself and draw or whatever. So, invited me to his lunch table. Again, thought he was playing around, so I hadn't really talked to him since that time of freshman year. And I'm like, he asked me, and I just didn't know what to say at first. And then he came back over and asked me, and came back over, and I realized he was serious. So came over, hung out with him, hung out with his friends, and they were all gamers. I was a gamer, and I realized that this guy is actually really a nice person. He's not playing around, not trying to make a joke out of somebody that's quiet or something like that. So that's why I realized he's a cool person.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We had our very relevant conversations about how we was talking about how you could fall upstairs, which is true. And we was also talking about this one kid who looked like a character from a video game, Hitman. He never showed me where he hit the piano wire until he had it on him. So, we didn't start dating until we were in college. That was, I don't know, a few months in.
Mm-hmm. It was in September.
Yeah. It was a while. I don't know. Like, I can't really say when I knew that I wanted to be with Teaerra. It just kind of happened. I know exactly when I knew when I definitely 100% wanted to marry her, though. That was immediately after I got back from basic, and she was still there waiting for me. I was like, nope, I'm getting the ring. That's it. I was literally, after I went to basic training and had to go to job training, I was speaking to mom and dad about what kind of rings I should pick out and stuff. I was like, yeah, we gotta get this. I gotta get this. But yeah, I mean, you already.
Yeah, pretty much for
your kid.
pretty much for me. It wasn't until college that I realized I wanted to be with him. I always knew he was one of the few people that I talked to. Like I said, I was a quiet kid throughout school, getting into college and everything. I was just starting to branch out a little bit, but he stayed there. I stayed in contact with him after high school, and he was messaging me through actually video games like PlayStation Online at the moment, and he was messaging me, like checking up on me. I just went through a breakup and everything, so he was just literally checking up on me and seeing how I was doing emotionally. And I'm like, I definitely noticed that. Wasn't ready for a relationship right away, but I was like, hey, this is a good friend. And as we kept hanging out, he would come up to my college, because we went to two different colleges, and he would come up there to talk to me. And as he kept coming up, he eventually asked me out. I turned him down the first time because I was nervous about getting into another relationship. I didn't know what I was doing. I was very young. Didn't necessarily know. So turned him down the first time, but I had just came out of a breakup, and he was checking up on me, coming up to the college that I went to, and just kept coming up there and talking to me, and kept in contact. He asked me out. See the college was just still talking to me, even though he asked me out the first time, turned him down because I just got over a bad breakup, and because I was scared, I didn't want to jump so fast back into a relationship. But he kept coming up to my college, and we went to 2 separate colleges. So he kept coming up there, even though I turned him down. Told him he's a really sweet guy. I know how he is. I know he's a sincere person. I just was scared. So after talking, and I'm like, hey, I learned more about him. He starts talking about family, which was something that I wanted too. It's like common goals. We were both gamers. Both wanted families. He wasn't scared of marriage. He wasn't scared of kids. He brought that up himself. He's like, I want such kids. I want a wife. Like, that's my goal. I'm like, that's perfect. And so I started thinking to myself, I should give this a try. I shouldn't let him get away and be stuck with somebody else that be scared every time I bring up marriage or something, or shy away from it. So I'm like, I already know how he is. I know him from high school. He seems like a sincere person, so let's try this out. I let him know that actually over Facebook. Facebook was like super popular back then, so I
popular now.
Yeah, not now, but back then, messaged him on there and told him like, let's give this a try. And I warned him. I'm like, honestly, I don't know what I'm doing in a relationship, but I'm willing to try this out. I'm just warning you. So he's like, he said okay or something. I don't remember his exact response, but later on that same exact day, I was going to my art class because I was an art major. I was in an art building, and I get a message from my professor telling me there's someone in the hallway waiting for me. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I walk out and see him standing there. And he asked me, are you sure you want to do this? Or something like that. He's like making sure, like, hey, are you sure you want to like start this relationship? And I looked at him like, yeah. And he kissed me. And from that point, I was like, just didn't know what to do the rest of the day. Definitely couldn't focus the rest of my class when I got back in there. But yeah, that's literally how it started. After that, our relationship took off, and he was still coming up there afterwards, which is like easy and for us to see each other and stuff. So. And we found out that we all this time being in high school, we lived like maybe 6 minutes away from each other.
Right.
So it was just kind of funny. I would see him come home, like when I was getting picked up from high school, I would see him skateboard sometimes home, and I had no idea where he was heading. It's just like, oh, there's Tracy skateboarding again. I didn't know that he was down the street, and then I was going up the street, so it's kind of funny, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. All that stuff happened. Bunch of stuff with military and
At what part of your relationship did you decide? Did you start the relationship before you got into the military or after?
Well, that was way before.
Yes.
We started dating in 2010, and I joined the military in 2013.
Okay.
So that was way after.
Mm-hmm.
That was trying for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's very
Definitely.
difficult. I didn't want to go, but I knew I had to, and I knew it wasn't. It hurt me more because I knew it was gonna hurt Teaerra. So I didn't want to, but I got to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Then when I came back, well, I didn't even get back all the way. I saw her at basic training. She was still there. I was like, okay, see this. This is where that phrase "put a ring on it." That was it right there. I was like, "Yep, no, I'm gonna have this ring before I come home from my job training." Oh goodness, that was long too. But at least I was able to call every day, so it was good. Literally called every single night before I went to sleep. I got out of job training.
So, how long have you guys been together?
For 10 years now.
10 years.
Officially 10 years last September.
Does not feel like it's been 10 years. So
right.
It really does.
So, are you married with children, or?
Yes.
Yes, you can hear one of them right there whining for no reason. And that one out there making weird noise.
Now, how many kids do you have?
2.
2 with them.
Yeah, 2 a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, do you have any regrets? Is there anything you would change?
No. Not at
all.
Awesome, wonderful. Well, congratulations.
I'll do it all over again. Maybe not the military thing, but I'll still do it all over again.
Well, I'll say this about the military thing. People always, this is how I think about it. This is how I thought about it when we first went through it. You know, people say absence makes the heart grow stronger. Fonder. Sorry. I feel like that was our absence. Like, it made our relationship stronger. Like, the whole thing, not always, but you always see the couples that will break up for a while and get back together. And they'll say, like, it may be good for the relationship. Sometimes it's not. It's just them returning back to the same problems they had before. And I feel like in this sense, that helped our relationship. We were away from each other for like 6 months? Yeah.
Oh, that was 7.
7 months?
7 months I was gone.
Yeah, so, like, even like today, like, husbands and wives always say, like, oh, do you ever get sick of your husband, or you sick of your wife, you see him every day? I'm like, I think about that, I'm like, no, not really, because I know how it feels to miss them, and I've already been through that, so I feel like I want you here. And I'm not to be like super clingy, but I'm like, we don't need that absence anymore. We know that we fully miss each other, and it's just good that I appreciate him being here more than ever because of that. Maybe if we never went through it, then I'd be like, oh man, I need space, or like we need some weekend away from each other. Like now I'm like, no, I need, like, I want you here, and I need you here. So that's just the effect it's had on me.
You can be clingy. I want you to be clingy. I don't want to go nowhere else no more. I'm done with that.
All right.
Shoot.
And I need a conclusion of introduce yourselves one last time.
I am Tracy Adam Peoples Jr.
And I'm Teaerra, also known as TT.
Yeah, go get your whole name.
And this is your...
This is how we met.
Yep.
Where we end up currently at this moment.
Yep.
We've only got 2 kids. Tracy Adam Peoples the third. Our second child, and our first child is Ariel Claire Peoples. You can hear her laughing.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See?
Make it big.